Hey, Salvador Garcia with Metro PD. You know, I just slept here on the side of Highway 62 here. Well, freezing and real safe, yeah. Not so much. Because you guys can't seem to figure out what financial exploitation of a disabled person is. And you guys ordered my RV be towed. And then Josh Smith had it there. And now it's apparently, according to the email now, is that he's smashed that one too. I certainly hope that's not the case. But my gosh, you guys aren't helping in any way. And, as I sat there at Metro PD last Sunday, after you made a call, supposedly, to Josh Smith, to tell him that I wanted that back. And I sat there and after you left and cried and tried to forgive and go down this memory lane, I remembered exactly who you were. Maybe you're a little more grown up and maybe a little more professional now with stripes and things, but you and I both know what you did to me. As I sat there frantic inside that motel room. No, UMV. Are you kidding me? You guys know that. I had helped that elderly man from Shiloh find his truck. He hadn't had it for days. I used taxi receipts and business cards and tracked that man with his permission, his truck down to where he had forgotten he left it at Super 8. And with his permission, I got a taxi and went down and retrieved that. And with his permission, used it and moved my stuff from Shiloh after you guys came in. Tom Sweeney came in and told him I was a prostitute, a bunch of liars. And so then I already paid for that room at Shiloh. I had to go and get my stuff and go to a different room because of your lies. And with that man's permission, I used his truck that I had found for him and drove it just a few blocks down with my stuff in it to get checked into that other room. And boy, you guys started a crap show. Then I'm sitting on the bed, barely just got there, hadn't even gotten my stuff out of the truck yet. You, Kirkpatrick, and Amaya show up taunting me through that motel window as I'm sitting on the bed transmitting evidence to the FBI on the YouTube channel as they instructed. Whether you guys believe me or not, it doesn't matter. It was true. And you guys all bust out your little cell phones and say, oh, yeah, we're talking to the FBI too. And you start recording me through that one, just taunting me like crazy. Kirkpatrick, Amaya, and Garcia. And then you go and talk to the hotel manager. You get a key. I'm on the phone to the FBI. I'm saying they're coming in right now. And you guys unlocked that door. You came in that room and I'm telling the FBI, they're coming in there. And the last thing I said to her was, they're taking me to the jail. And she says, we know where you are. That's all truth, buddy. As you guys illegally arrested me for a UUMV. For a truck that I had complete permission from Thomas Lofton to drive, as I was going to be his caretaker and get compensated through DHS as he was former DOD and having brain surgery at the VA domiciliary. Shame on you guys. But it doesn't stop there, Garcia, does it? No. Then you guys illegally take me into custody. I'm telling you, I'm offering you every bit of evidence you could possibly want to clear me on that nonsense charge. Voicemails, 6 of them. And I'm telling you, that blanket, my rape blanket, you're like, yeah, you didn't get all this stuff. And what'd you guys do? You took me into custody and you had my cell phone and my rape blanket and you guys deleted those voicemails. Don't you know the feds can get those back? Yeah. You deleted the voicemails, the very voicemails from Thomas Lofton giving me permission to use his vehicle. And then when I finally got released by the feds from jail, not before my strip search again, and all those fun things, but when I went to retrieve my property, my rape blanket mysteriously missing. Salvador Garcia, what'd you guys do with my rape blanket? Why'd you delete those voicemails? If only that had been my first interaction with you, as I remember back. Another bullcrap nonsense UUMV charge. When my uncle had tossed me his keys, loaned me his truck, Steve Clay, the Ford, the F-150. Then because he couldn't get a hold of me because of another case where my phone was stolen by Anna Marie Johnson Bell, where this all started. He tried to get a hold of me on Facebook or whatever. I didn't have my phone. So then he reported his truck lost, but not stolen. But anyway, still with total permission from him, I had his truck, and You and Pierce. Well, when I finally did find out my uncle wanted his truck back, I took it back immediately. And was walking over that bridge there, or the overpass, by Table Rock. And you and Pierce showed up. Thank God Pierce was with you. But boy, you were out of control. Grabbing my purse from me, dumping it out on the hood of your car, and all that, looking for keys. I said I had already given them back to my uncle. You wanted to arrest me immediately right there. Pierce was like, no. Even though your sergeant wanted to, evidently, because he and I were sideways. You guys just wanted to put me away to silence me. But thank God Pierce was like, no, not going to happen. And he cited and released me. He didn't even want to do that, but he had to do something because of your sergeant. Oh, but it doesn't stop there. So you have me all in a tease. I'm backing up away from you, scared to death. That's what you probably remember this last Sunday, huh, buddy? Because you guys had me so messed up. So I finally leave that, bawling. Not even, delirious. Couldn't believe you guys kept falsely arresting, transporting, imprisoned me. And I'm walking over that overpass, going towards Jack in the Box. And here it is, Garcia, Mr. Domestic Violence Special Officer, who stole my rape blanket. Yeah, I'm walking down towards Jack in the Box, and this guy circles around me a couple times in his pickup, and I wasn't sure of his behavior, but then I recognized him. I played softball with him. And he's talking to me there. Hey, you want a ride? Hey, you want a burger? And I'm thinking, he sounds kind of weird. I guess he was drunk, but I realized I knew him from softball, so I was like, okay, figured it would be safe. Yeah. But because I wasn't in my right mind, I was so hysterically sad because of what you guys were doing to me, you especially. I'd get in that truck with him. We'd grab a burger at Jack in the Box, go back to his place. I didn't make a bad call. I played softball with the guy. I didn't know. How would I know he would be dangerous? But because I shouldn't have gotten in that truck because he was drinking. But still, I'm the victim. So don't put this on me. But because you made me hysterical, because you guys were hunting me as if some sick sport. Yeah, I got raped there. And I fell asleep. And that's the rape blanket that you stole, Garcia. And it was your fault. I even got in that vehicle. Got raped by... Oh, it doesn't end there. Oh, it gets better. Gets better. I get raped by John Tokar. Central Point, Wojak says, hey, we don't have no doubt he raped you. You just weren't a very good victim. I said, that's because I'm a survivor, sir. I said, well, there you go. So no charges get pressed against this dirtbag who I got a near confession from him on video. Now, I'm trying to press charges against this guy. Later that night, next morning, whatever it was, I'm back in the Jack in the Box parking lot trying to use their payphone. And trying to just get Pierce, the only rational, good cop, on your force at the time. I guess he's moved on now, but I wouldn't blame him wanting to get out of here. Next thing you know, all these officers show up to that same Jack in the Box parking lot because Celeste is acting irrationally, hysterically. No, I'm scared for my life, scared to death of you guys because you keep breaking the law. And what happens in that parking lot? I'm trying to report that I've been raped by John Tokar. You guys then decide something you've already cited and released me on. Nonsense, UUMV, which wasn't even that. You guys take me back into custody. How can you do that? No new evidence on that case. Nothing else is going. You already cited me on it. But yeah, you guys take me back into custody. Put me in the back of that car and I say, hey, can you at least run me by the hospital? I'm still bleeding. Get this man's semen off me. Collect some DNA. So begrudgingly, you've all finally agreed, okay, we'll run away. Get to the hospital as a rape victim. Sure, I may have been acting somewhat hysterical. Things were going terribly wrong, Garcia. Now, next thing you know, upwards of 10 male officers are flooding the foot of my rape gurney. I'm now handcuffed and shackled to the gurney as a rape victim. If you can imagine, supposed to have my legs spread. You got the stain exam. Collect that semen, that DNA. Things are going terribly wrong with Asante now. Instead of listening to me as the victim, as the patient, who their primary responsibility was to, you guys start falsely. Yo, you got some good now. You really think, oh, yeah, we'll put her away. Silencer for a long time on this one. You had to make up something. Murder or kidnapping, and one of them you have to have a body, not the other. So you go with attempted kidnapping of a non-existent baby. Not even close, but yeah. So I'm not even treated as a victim at all anymore. All that's out the window. All these male officers, so disrespectful. Now, swirling about, trying to charge me with attempted kidnapping of a non-existent baby. Boy. Next thing you know, the nurse next to me there, supposedly trying to console me, on the phone to my ex-husband, my other rapist, Rick McKinnis, which is who made up these false allegations. You guys never even interviewed me, never interviewed the lady that asked me to go visit the baby. That's all I wanted to do was visit a baby. There weren't even any there. Hardly a crime. No, just a kind deed as a former foster parent with Jackson County for 10 years. Yes, everyone. Now the hospital's coming toward me, these nurses. That's where you come in there, Barb Johnson. Your advocate should have spoke up for me. She was my voice because now I'm rendered completely incoherent against my will. I'm injected Haldol, Ativan, and Benadryl, what they call an involuntary chemical sedation, the jailhouse drug. Okay, remember everyone, I'm a rape victim there. Handcuffed, shackled, now injected against my will, involuntary chemical sedation, not even FDA approved unless you're schizophrenic. Rendered me completely incoherent, overdosed the heck out of me. Could have tranquilized a elephant or a small horse of sorts. It gets even better. They don't even wait till I wake up. They then release my incoherent rape victim body, who had been tortured, to this upwards of 10 male strangers, biggest legal gang of bullies I ever met in my life. Were they gentle with my body, Beth Eckert? Because they tell you they weren't when I was awake. That's for darn sure. And the hospital certainly wasn't. That's for darn sure healthcare licensing. Dr. Seeger, former CEO, Scott Kelly. Come on, everyone. Somebody speak up. Too many of you are involved now. No one can claim ignorance. Released incoherent. This group of 10 bullies, strangers. I don't know where I was taken then, but not directly to the jail illegally for that false arrest, transported in prison. Where'd you guys take me? Where was my body that 12 to 16 hours still unaccounted for? Incoherent rape victim. Well, when I finally do resurface on paper, is it incoherent? Still, rape victim at the Jackson County jail, the paperwork shows. Now I'm being interviewed by a detective, Tony Young. What a joke. Paperwork says I don't remember a lick of it. Being interviewed now for this non-existent crime of a non-existent baby. And he says in his own notes, now he should have talked to his other associates or his other co-workers, because now he's trying to make me look like some nodded off druggie, saying that he just concludes the interview and sends it to the district attorney for prosecution because I'm nodding and incoherent. Hey! Only reason was because I had been forced that involuntary chemical sedation at the hospital, people. Not any willing drugs on my accord. So now this joke of an interview, I don't remember, already been strip searched. Incoherent. Mugshot taken, released all over, FCC violations, rape everywhere. Violations. You're putting out on an incoherent rape victim's picture? Strip searched, forced to bend over, cop would do whatever. Incoherent. Interviewed by Detective Tony Young, the stepfather of Precious Chiron Hormone, who's still missing. Bit of a conflict of interest there, guys. Yeah. So he doesn't even give me an interview, just sends it to the district attorney for prosecution. They never interviewed me or the lady Tina who asked me to go visit. How ironic, but the only one they interviewed was my other rapist, my ex-husband, Rick McKinnis, who made up that whole thing, and him and his ex-wife, Nancy, the jealous new stepmommy to my child. Wow, you guys are quite the crew. So now finally, I wake up, I'm up and holding, got some smock on me or something. I don't even have undergarments, don't even have any, and now they're going to transport me to downstairs. Just men. I'm finally awake, exercising my constitutional right of freedom of speech, wondering why am I here? What's going on? Titus Cosgrove, holding me on one side. Titus, I asked him, please just keep the back of my smock or whatever it was they had me in. Jailhouse issued whatever, certainly not anything I fitted to my body to fit me appropriately. Nathan Sickler. And I promise you, it still didn't just fall off, pal, and you know that. You're the only one that's seen that video. Or never released it to me, my Freedom of Information Act, Public Records Request, my constitutional right. Shame on you, young man. Mr. Old Detective, now Sheriff. I begged them to keep at least that garment together at the back of me. All of us ladies have particular parts of our body we're, somewhat insecure about. Mine happens to be my backside. As I exercise my constitutional right, wanting to know why I'm there, what's going on, now just being transported, just men, No protocol being followed. Asking at least keep that garment together because no, not even undergarments. Special Agent Richard Austria, DOJ. Titus then catches a case of the cutes. Steps on that garment, pushing me forward, knowing I would trip. My garment would fall completely nude, genitalia and all exposed. Yes, judge. Or don't you sit there and from the bench mock me as a 100% disabled survivor. When I'm the only one that's told the truth, and you sit there and mock me in your courtroom when I'm asking for a protective order and you go on and on, you're a foul and vulgar judge, and you will be disbarred. How dare you all? He pushes me forward, knowing I would trip, that garment would fall. Forced completely nude, while bound. Cosgrove does nothing. I try to retrieve that garment. They break my wrist, pull me back so hard in the handcuffs, and then continue to force me walking completely nude. Demoralized, degrading for a woman in the United States of America. We look down on third world countries for demeaning their women like this. We're doing it right here. As Titus chants that, I said, please, he says that face, that ass, same difference, Patton, as he's swatting at it, and I'm completely nude. 150 males, females, all looking on it, and I mean, at least the inmates were shouting, did he rape you? It was a horrific scene. So bound, tortured, forced what I call the longest walk of shame on public display pornography, humiliating all the way down towards that SHU-1 walker. Female officer finally walks towards us to join us. I'm thinking, dear God, it's a lady. Throw a sheet over me. Throw something to go. Oh, no, no, no. She just begins to kick my garment that they had forcibly removed from me for the rest of that longest walk of shame to the SHU-1. Still my fully nude, genitalia and all, body exposed. Lean me up against that little gate there, whatever, as they fumble for their keys to open that cell. It seemed like an eternity. This preacher's daughter, former executive of the stock market, 17 years, foster mommy, hockey mommy of 28. Finally, they open that cell door and throw me in on that hard concrete. I lay there, fetal position, still fully exposed, thinking this can't be the United States. This has got to be a terrible nightmare. And I beg again one more time, anything to cover my lady parts, since I lay there, fetal position, crying out. And they said, hey, we're in waste management, Patton. You're nothing but waste. Shut the F up. And they slammed that door on my fully nude butt. I mean, this is what's going on right here in the United States, people. It's all true. I've requested those videos. It's all on video. I've requested them for years. Paid $2,500, done everything, followed every policy, protocol, procedure. You guys haven't. You guys have completely broken the law repeatedly. Garcia. And received nothing but torture ever since. What is wrong with you guys? You tell me on Sunday, Garcia, I'm sorry all this happened, Celeste. Nathan, a couple weeks prior to that, you said, I'm sorry all this is going on. Own your shit. You guys are awful. But it's not over, I promise you, because guess what? That look back window, that 1 year look back for adult survivors has just opened up, people. And 6 New York attorneys are all over it. But those of you here at a local level that can do something to make it a little bit less painful in the meantime probably should. To this fully disabled, repeat survivor of 2 rapes, forced sodomy, countless physical and sexual assaults. Some of you have seen it in person firsthand. Matt Rogers, laying there in that hospital bed, buddy. I can't make this stuff up. But my gosh, it should have never happened, and it should have never been allowed to get this far. Beth Heckert, Graham Poomba of all law enforcement in Jackson County. So your nonsense needs to stop now. You shouldn't have jerked my chain all through that other holiday season, telling me you were trying to get those videos from the sheriff's department and come back in that closed-door meeting and said, oh, they wouldn't even give them to me either. Beth, cut the crap. You know you have your own login to Axon. You and Nathan gave so many interviews about this. It's a fail-proof system, people. Those videos are still on the hard drive on the server at Axon, the third-party non-biased surveillance company in Arizona. Talked with their legal department several times. Joel Benton, shut your mouth. Don't tell me those videos were destroyed at a local level per the retention laws. Because anybody that has half a brain knows. Secretary of State told me also that when it's allegations such as that against officers, sexual allegations, those videos, even locally, could be kept indefinitely. So knock it off, all of you. Beth, log in. Get the videos. They're there, available. Request has to come from law enforcement, though. You guys put the corner on that market, but you know what? Fix it, Beth Hecker, just like Bob Strasser, former commissioner, said to do. public apologies about that nonsense, non-existent baby case. Fix it! Nathan, resign. Or really say sorry and mean it. Garcia, straighten up. No more blowing smoke. Doran, you got another thing coming. Just like you told me that day, oh, the feds don't pull rank. Yes, they do, Erica. And just like you told me today that you don't have to enforce federal laws. And yes, you do. They depend on local law enforcement to do their job. Y'all get paid to care. You do. That's the only thing you get paid to do, law enforcement. But my gosh, you're born with something called a heart. So you should do it for free. But you get paid for it. What a blessing. Do your jobs.